Christmas, hearts are filled with love. It's a special time each year, and the world becomes a kinder place as loved ones all draw near. It would take a Christmas miracle for the thing I seek to ask. So in my heart I'm hoping, Lord, that you'll accept the task. Let love remain throughout the year, and not just Christmas Day. Let the joy a newborn Savior brought fill our life in every way. And when Christmas carols vanish and the lights get packed away, may the love of Jesus still shine bright and fill our hearts each day.
Feliz Navidad. It is the day before Christmas Eve, and I'm just playing with buttons. I've got some new sound effects. I don't go Christmas shopping. I went to Somerset Collection to see a friend of mine last night with another friend, and the place was just packed. It's like the most expensive mall in Michigan, north of Detroit. And anyway, I just figured I'd come up and get a little ridiculous because I pay for this stuff. I kind of got in the habit of not coming on here all summer long, which would probably have been better. I love candles. I don't care. They don't have to be those Yankee candles. They're like $30. You can get them at Costco. They got them on sale. They take you really cheap ones. They're not good for you or good to breathe. You know, like whatever. This one smells really good. Cedarwood candle. I feel like my buddy Vinny. He likes to show it off. Can you see it? Okay. Anyway, I am just gonna leave it. I love the smell of candles. You know what? I fall asleep with them sometimes. So if I ever burn up, no, I keep them away from everything. But anyway, so I have a question. Okay. Let's make this festive tonight. In fact, let's make it interactive. I don't care if there's 2 or 20 or 50, because it's funny. The next day, I leave it in public. I mean, even my ex-wife could see this. Not that I wanted to, or her lawyer, but they would, because I don't really care. There's nothing I can do about it. But then I put it to my friends list, which is about 1,800, and then they have friends, and then you're tagged friends, whatever. And I figured, it's weird because I did a Christmas party. To give you an example, well, it wasn't even a Christmas party. It was a karaoke party. It didn't even actually have a theme. It was at the Birmingham Athletic Club. Now, if you're from Michigan, especially in the Metro Detroit area, they call it the Metro Detroit area. Like Nashville is a metro area. It's like 30 miles in every direction. There's a city, that kind of resembles Nashville. Okay. So Detroit has that. And then we got the up north, and then we got the, the rabbit above us. They've got, where was I going with this now? Got it. So I did this party at Birmingham. Birmingham is like one of the most expensive cities. It's about 20 miles north of Detroit. And I lived in Troy, which was right next to it, which has the biggest mall, the most expensive mall, Saks Avenue, Macy's, and what's funny about this area is people from all over the world that live in that area, Asian, Arabic, Jewish, Christian, it doesn't matter what the religion, whatever, they're all there. Inner city, everywhere. They come up there because it's really, it's a cool mall, cool to window shop, even if you don't have the money, whatever. And so I did this party for a buddy of mine. In fact, he just paid me. Thank you, Ross, by the way. Thank you. It was karaoke, and it was probably, I'd say about 25, 30 people in the room. And And I'm like, karaoke sounds kind of cheesy, right? I don't do it the hokey way. Hey, everybody, let's sing Love Shack, whatever. I sit there and I get out and I start talking to people. And, you know, I go into this mode. There's a mode. I don't know if you see, like, because probably people probably think I'm still obsessed with my kids after all these years. I'm like, okay, first off, that's just my thing. Right, number one, and number two, when I get to somebody else's room, I'm probably one of the few people, even though I can talk pretty fast and think pretty fast. I let people feel the way they want to feel, and when you're in a bar full of people and you do karaoke, some people wanted to watch sports, some people didn't want to sing, some people, it's like a whole cluster. It's like getting in a car. Being a DJ is like getting in a car. But then, hey, who wants to hear what? Or being in a bus and saying that, because everybody's going to have a different song. Country, rap, pick something, smooth jazz, uh, meditating music, whatever you're going to think. And the volumes are going to be different. Turn up the bass, turn up the treble, turn it down, turn it up, whatever. So I have to go in there and I have to be this, and DJs can relate to this person that's open to everybody. And I did. And they really liked it. And I got paid pretty well. And where I was going with this, at the end of the night, this bartender, I'd say she was probably in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe. I don't want to age her. But she was really nice to me, super nice. Her name was Angie. Hey, Angie, baby. And I even made jokes. I was making trivia about every little thing. I don't know. I was like on fire. My brain just could not stop. I felt like Robin Williams meets, I don't know, somebody else that could just think of anything off the top of their head. And at first I wasn't sure if they were liking it. And at the end, she goes, everybody really liked you making it, because most people just will play the songs or sing or whatever. And he goes, you did everything. And then all of a sudden she looks at my necklace was inside my shirt. I had that festive shirt. I have that neon shirt. Looks like it's on. It looks up. It's actually lit up, but it's not. And because sometimes people will, once in a blue moon, they'll compliment the jewelry stores. Love this thing, and I don't like to wear bling. And and they see the English D, so they think it's Detroit, which it is. And it's about the Detroit Lions. They don't know what the G stands for. And so she looks at it and she goes, what's that? And I go, oh, it's just my thing. And, I kind of pushing it back in. And she goes, and she moves and she goes, oh, no, I like that. She goes, I like it a lot. And I said, oh. She goes, what's it for? And I go, well, it's my son. I don't really like to wear jewelry because I think, the young people are probably going to go, why is he wearing bling, right? Or whatever. Is he a rapper? So I said, Dante. And she goes, wait, Dante, like, where are you from? Where are you from? And she's never met me. So she started talking about it and this and that. Long story short, she knew me. And she had a daughter and a friend of hers that were talking about him yesterday. Now, mind you, this is over 6 years since he left, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to, I'm wrapping up chords and doing all kinds of things because it's the end of the night. And I'm trying to get out. It takes me about a half hour, even if I'm moving fast. So she's telling me, and she just sent me this really nice message, and it was really, really super cool. But I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for attention. I'm not trying to extend this thing into legato land. Legato is a musical term. In fact, that song you just heard is a song I put the music to that I wrote for a lady friend of mine that's on here, a good friend of mine. She calls me her second mom. And she wrote the lyrics to it. And then I had to structure it. And then I put the music to it and I sent it to her. And it's called A Christmas Wish. And I did it just as a favor, just as a gift. Whatever. I was bored one day. And I was playing the piano, and I thought, yeah, I'll send it to her. So that's what you heard. And right now, she's got it on Spotify and YouTube. And her son was a big radio DJ here in Detroit, and a voiceover for many years. He's younger than me, doing voiceover. He's got one of those really deep voices, like the Titanic coming to theaters near you. And he's not a big guy or nothing like that, but his voice is bigger than him. And he made a good living off of it. And he knows a lot of well-known people in the radio business. So they were, doing their magic all summer long because that's when I did the song. And I'm sitting there being vapid about the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not going, yeah. Because I just, when you go back and forth in Nashville, you see that there's millions of people with a lot of skill, a lot of talent, a lot of dreams, a lot of hope, a lot of ego. And you realize they're all doing the same thing. And it's almost impossible to get a song, not just produced is probably the easiest part, the longest and the most expensive part. But to get it out there and sold or make money with it, even Spotify, you ain't gonna never make money with it. But it's sometimes it's who you know and how you work it and things like that. Okay, so where was I going with this? It's that time of year. It's that time of year where everybody's like, and this is the part that could easily make me sad or depressed and things like that. Because, I don't celebrate like everybody else does. Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Kwanzaa, of course, Christmas, right? The big one. Well, I guess that's how you look at it, because that's what they basically market it to. And that's fine. I think everybody enjoys it. I don't care what. I think people love the lights. They love the pageantry. It's like even Costco. Come on, Costco. That's why I had this thing up. I'm like, I'm looking, because that's my go-to store. And, I could go to any store anywhere and get whatever I want. But I'm like, okay, does anybody need any whey protein or skinny jeans or something like that? Would people be offended? Or should I just get gift cards? But I love how people get happy. You know what I mean? Now, look, I know I'm the least favorite thing on the streaming station. Call it Netflix. That's me. But, I look at people's posts and I'm looking right now. Let's see. Are you in Mexico? Am I in Mexico? No. As a matter of fact, here, let me do this. I'm going to do something real quick. Let's see, visual effects. I'm going to take this up here. I'm just going to do that. All right. See, this is where I am. I'm just sitting in I call it the green room. See, because if the lights were on brighter, I don't know if you can see it. It's almost like an olive green behind me. So I call it the green room. There's a big TV in front of me, which I usually watch. And I come in here and I write my music. I write the lyrics. I go into my stuff. I start playing with a keyboard, electric. I hit some drum patterns, and then I write down all my ideas and stuff like that. And that's in between everything else I do. So I was thinking about all the things that I do and I get. Like today, what did I do? Oh, I bought this last night. I couldn't sleep. I went to bed at 1 and I woke up at 5. I'm kind of an insomniac. I take melatonin. That doesn't do crap for me. And I bought if you ever have headphones, any kind of headphones. Wait, let me get out of the setting right here. I'm not trying to bore anybody, but I probably am. Little gifts, little gadgets. Now, if you have headphones, this part, and I don't care what headphone you buy, it's a good brand. I just sold some really nice Bose today, mint condition. They're probably really, really cool. But every pair of headphones I know anybody has, this part gets bad. It gets all gummy. It starts peeling and falling apart. And most people will just wear them till they die. And then you can actually snap these off, okay? And on Amazon for about 10, 15 bucks maybe, you get a brand new pair. Leather, pleather, whatever they call it, vinyl. And you can buy them to match. You can even get them in different colors. Some even have like a velour, like a soft thing. But I bought these, and they come in different colors as well: blue, black, white, red. Black's mine because I have black. And I just fit them over. And what it does, depending on the material you get, can I put it in? I just bought them. They were shrink wrapped. And this is just one of these stupid things I'm doing. But if you got headphones, anybody, these are really cool because they preserve your headphones and they don't get all dirty, your ear gum, because everybody's ears are dirty. I don't care what you do. And it gets in there, and you got gray or white, you really expect. I can't see it, but it's in there. Okay. What this does, and I don't know if you guys hear me, because last time it's getting a little. Is it getting delayed again? Hold on, get to my phone. I forgot about that. Okay, maybe that'll help. Oh no, don't do that. Don't delay on me. Is it delaying? All right, delay. All right, I'm just looking to see. Anyway, if you're watching, get these as a gift. They're like 10 bucks. Sometimes you can get really expensive ones if you want for like 20 or 30, but they last a long time. You can wash them, reuse them, and they keep not only clean and from falling apart, because they do all fall apart. And I guarantee you, if you keep these on, you'll never have to do that. And then it keeps it like in the summer, how it gets sweaty, no sweat, because it's a nice material. And in the wintertime, you can actually wear these outside like earmuffs because it's nice and insulated, and this is going to keep your ears from sticking to it and freezing. There you go. This little gift. All right. And what else? I showed you the candle. Oh, here's another one. You guys are like this. Now, people always used to roll their eyes at me. I get it. But now I've got people hooked. A friend of mine in Tennessee, big guy, Michael, if you're out there, Michael Maiden, big guy, big fella, the mayor of Nashville. Um, he turned me onto this one brand. Now, it wasn't the one I'm showing you, but for $2, I bought this is a lifesaver. You know how you have energy drinks, Red Bull, Monster, Starbucks coffee, it has 40 grams of sugar, has a lot of water, makes you go pee. Like, right? Like these, like this one's pretty good. I just bought this one because it has both, it does 2 cups coffee worth of caffeine. I sip on these things, I don't drink them all the way. And it's got 20 grams of protein and no sugar, right? So there you go. But, sometimes you don't have the time for that. So I bought this gum. See this gum? It's called Max. Now, they're like little chiclets. You know what those are? Those pellets. And you chew them and it tastes just like regular gum. Like this one says spearmint. Tastes just like spearmint. This one says cool mint. Same thing. And there's one more, which is my favorite because it reminds me of a gum called Dentyne. Remember that cinnamon gum, like Big Red? This is it. And these sit in your car, no matter how hot or how cold you get. They can fit right in your glove compartment or wherever you stash stuff. And you just squeeze it, pop out one, put it in your mouth. It's 1 cup of coffee worth of caffeine. And my body's real sensitive to stuff. I don't get jolted, jittery. I don't have a crash. It's just a little bit without the liquid, without the water, without spilling it on yourself, hot or cold. And, if you're driving, it doesn't, when you drink those energy drinks, what do? They run right through you. And then you got to stop at a rest area. Defeats the purpose, right? Tell me you know what I'm talking about. All right, so that's it. I pitched for whatever. Oh, one last thing. I don't even know why. I just saw it on the floor. A friend of mine I went shopping with, she bought a bunch of these. I've got a Keurig, but I bought the Keurig thing where you can put coffee in it. Look at this flavor. Never even tried it, but it looks like it's frosted gingerbread. I don't know if that's going to be any good. It might be a backfire, but it's kind of cool. They keep coming up with all these little different things. It's funny when you see companies that have been in the business a long time. They've been in the game, and like 50 years later, they're catching up to the people that came around yesterday to come up with the same product. Remember that happened ago? Oh, I can tell you which one. Okay, Lay's potato chips, right? Who doesn't like Lay's? Ruffles and the regular kind. Well, when I was a kid, going back, they came out with this one called Pringles. Now, I'm not a big fan of Pringles, but I thought they were super cool. They're all identical. They stack on top of each other and you can fit them in a can. You know what came out 30 years later? Lay's versions of that. You get where I'm going? And so sometimes you got to copy the people that copied you and improved on your game. That goes for anything in life. But you have no idea how many times I've regretted not just doing, that next step. But anyway. Oh, I'm on YouTube too. Oh yeah. Let's see. You have a question. I thought I had a question. Where's a hot? Hi. You're looking hot. No, I'm not. I am hot because I'm wearing 2 jackets. So, you know what? Did anybody? Okay, you know how like Christmas is the time of reflection. New Year's is going to be popping up a week from now. In a couple days, going to these resolution parties, blah, 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 spend, whatever. Okay. Well, what did you do this year? What did you do for 2025? 5 years ago was supposed to be this great year and it turned into crap, right? 2020, COVID. And, but now here we are, the world not without its faults. And, but did you make any kind of goals that you stuck with? Did you stick with those resolutions? Okay. Did you find that person? Did you finish school? Did you, like me, I finished about almost 100 songs, recorded them. I used AI for the vocal. I came up with the music. I worked diligently. But for 2 years when I was in Nashville, back and forth, mostly there, I would sit there for hours and hours and hours and look at my computer and start fiddling around, and I couldn't get anywhere with it. A little bit I did. But then when I got back here, where I was more distracted, where I wasn't surrounded by musicians, I was not in my environment, so to speak, I got more done. I don't know how that ever happened. And another thing I did is I used to pride myself on being in good shape, and I've never taken steroids or anabolics or injections or anything like that. Because there's guys that are just ripped like out to here, and I can tell right away those are kind of chemically induced, which is fine because I know a lot of friends of mine who do that. And but I just never did. I think this is the most I've ever done right here, max. Okay. And again, you're gonna love them if you get them. Oh, by the way, all three of these, and you only need one. How many are there's 125 milligrams of caffeine per piece. I don't know how many pieces are, and there's quite a few in here. I would say about 20 plus pieces, maybe 30. And all three of these cost me $20 delivered by Amazon. They're on Amazon. So get those if you want. And I a lot of people that I gave pieces to, and I said, just take one. They call me the next day and they're like, yeah, oh my God, I love you. So hopefully I'm helping you somewhere, somebody today, one person. But I lost, 30 pounds, 30, and I kept it off. Drinking water, my protein shakes, taking my salads, my supplements. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. I'll be honest with you. I've been taking vitamins. I used to take over 60 vitamins a day since the age of, well, I started when I was 14 because I was kind of scrawny and I didn't have energy. I was falling asleep in class and this and that. I was working out. That was for a year, maybe a year and a half. I was working out and I was doing most of the stuff wrong. I was that guy that didn't know what he was doing. And I'm watching Jack LaLanne. I don't know if you remember him. I'm trying to figure it out. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have Google. And I couldn't get anywhere. It was like I was going backwards. I was a total fail. And then but I started, my uncle he passed. In fact, they just celebrated his 5th anniversary being gone, but he lived to be 96. And he was an awesome uncle, but he got me into it. And I hated the taste of vitamins. I hated it. Spirulina, Alphaville. It was crazy. It was like taking grass and mixing it with raw broccoli. It was just horrible. And, but so I would drink it with like peanut butter or chocolate milk, things like that. And eventually it started kicking in, So that was kind of like my little hack. It was my hack. I can't drink vitamins to this day with water. I just can't do it. And I love my water, but whatever it did, it preserved me. Well, since my son had passed, I told the story before, and I put on about at least 20 pounds. And I didn't get a big gut, but I started getting that dead body thing, right? And I think that I made it a goal, one of my goals. And, a friend of mine, Vinny, I know you know what I'm talking about. You look for these little tricks and these little hacks. But once I got to that point a few months ago, I said, okay, now I got to change my diet for the rest of my life and the way I think. And that's impossible to completely do a complete overhaul, but I did it as much as I can. Now, do I slip and fall a lot? Every day. And a friend of mine, actually a couple of people texted me tonight, and they will never make comments on here, and they see this. They will never comment. They'll never like it. But they're telling me, oh man, it's kind of depressing. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of this. I'm kind of that. And I'm like, I don't have all the answers for it. But, the trick for me is watching other people have a good time, watching you have a good time, watching you that probably looks at me and goes, oh my God, please go away. Please just stop. But I do, it used to bother me that somebody was doing better than me or having whatever. I mean, not jealous, just the last few years. I was like, okay, how do I get out of this? And I still do that. But I found myself going, when people are happy around you and they're really happy, I mean, really, really, really happy, their job's going good, money's going good, their kids are going good, their love life's going good. When things are going really good, they find a little extra sauce to give you, even if they don't want to. Just maybe, they're just so happy and they'll put their hand on their shoulder or they'll give you a hug or a fist bump and they'll say, man, you got this. I know it's hard, blah, blah, blah. And I know you're secretly thinking, oh my God, I don't even want to get cursed by that person. But I've done the same thing even where I'm at to other people, and I still do it. So the holiday season is about trying to help people. Look at here's another gadget I have. I don't know why I'm telling this to you, but I know people, 4 or 5 people are going to run out and get this crap, and they're going to thank me. They're going, "Oh my god, I saw that on TV. Does that crap really work?" Yeah, it works. Alien tape. Man, this stuff is so strong. They got these, you know how they come on these, like, what were these gadgets for the last 30 years? I don't know what happened. It's nothing technical. It's not even that expensive. And this stuff works phenomenal. You can put this over the leaks in a house or in your car window or something. And it's strong. Look how thick this stuff is. It's thick. It's like Kevlar. It's that thick. And, little hacks to make life better, life easier. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense. Hold on a second. Oh, Mr. Positive. Let me see. Oh, there he is. Hey, look at him giving him a big shout out. Um, no, Vinny, I think you should take 4 or 5. Just go ahead. Have next out. Hey, Keith. Keith, you didn't call me, man. I thought we were going to go to the movies or something. That's all right. I had stuff to do. I found stuff to do. You know what? You do that. I was just talking to a buddy of mine today. Who was I talking to? And we we're talking about how like people will tell you things like, yeah, let's do something this week or tomorrow or tonight, and then they totally ghost you. And they were the one who mentions it, and then you and I said, there's another hack. This is the hardest hack. I think Vince, you're good at this. Being alone, because the hardest part of this year, with or without money, with or without at any age, anything, is not being included or not being around people. Like on New Year's, I got to be somewhere. Where do I got to be? Now, as you get older, you don't really have to. People are happy. But you know what? It's nice to have at least one person around you, not just your pet cat or dog. Maybe your kid or your brother or your friend from school or somebody you hang out with. It's nice to be around people, even if you walk around. But you know what? Here's another life hack. A life hack. And it's not popular. You probably don't think it works, but I do it all the time. I do it even when I have a lot of people around me. Um, I've learned that no matter what, I can be by myself and still absorb the energy in the room without having to engage, without having to be embraced or hugged or even spoken to. And you know what? It gives you time to reflect. It gives you time to critique yourself a little bit. Like, hey, maybe I can brush up on this, or maybe I can do this year. Learn a new language, or play the guitar, or piano, or like at Planet Fitness. I see more and more people in there getting. When I used to go to Planet Fitness, because I go to Powerhouse, that's my go-to gym. But when I go to that particular Planet Fitness, it used to be really bad. Nobody knew what they were doing. They were reading books. They were sleeping on the equipment. I don't know what they were doing. And now people are starting to get the hang of it, even in these places that are not known for being like fitness, muscle bound people, things like that. And I've seen a lot of people in shape there. It's really a neat thing that's kind of happened. It didn't happen overnight, but their success formula is packing these places. They're building these it used to be like one every 20 miles. Now there's one every 20 feet. It's crazy, but it's a positive thing. And there's a lot of people that are overweight or out of shape or have kind of pains in their body, joint problems, hip problems, breathing problems. But if you get in there and spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, doing a couple things, it will change you. It'll change you too, because you'll think, oh, I got the house and I'm around other people. Nobody's staring at me looking like, what's he doing? What's she doing? I mean, even if they do, so what? Because nobody's actually ever going to approach you. Nobody's going to ever come up and say, ah, ha, ha, ha. Because they're doing the same thing. Even the people in most shape, they're laser focused. Even those muscle bound guys, or girls, they're more focused on what they're doing than what you're doing. That's every time, all the time. I know when I'm in there, even if I see somebody, now if somebody's doing something really wrong, I mean, then I was there. But it's pretty cool. It's that time of year. It's that time of year where I lost a lot of money this year. I didn't make a lot of money, but I have enough to buy gifts if I want. I finished paying my bills. I just got this. I didn't even open it yet. It's my insurance for my business. I wasn't able to afford the insurance for my business since 2019. And I just paid for a whole year in full. And they sent this to me. They're going to give me 12 payments or quarterly payment. I said, nope, let's pay it off. And, that gig I did for my buddy the other night, and he just paid me a minute ago, that helped pay for that. So you find a way. You find a way, and you don't bring it to the table, the negatives of your life. I mean, I've vented on here, but I'm not going to vent out there. I'm working. I'm in that mode. And, even if you don't have a job or you don't have those resources, I see people that are really good at me, way better than me, that are good at just being positive. And I know their lives aren't that great. I see people all the time, and it's like, those are my heroes. And even on here, there's people that are in here that are my, like, wow, that's pretty cool that person is so, I'm like, what are they eating? What are they taking? Where are they going? What church are they going to? What synagogue? Where are they getting this energy, this veracity to go out there in the weather, in the traffic, wherever it takes to be around people and not suck the life out of the room? That's a gift. That's a gift. And I really believe at this point, 2025, at the beginning of the year, I didn't believe this. For the first time in my entire life, I thought, and I started off with one of the most positive places I've been to. I've been there almost 34 years off and on, but mostly on. And that was my gym over about 20 miles from here. And I was mad at the beginning of the year at a lot of the guys that I've recognized. Some have been there 2, 3, 4 years younger. Some I've seen for 10, 20 years. And it's like, man, these people don't invite me over. They don't, let's go fishing or go to a barbecue or go to a concert or a ball game. Never. And that bothered me for about a good couple months. Somehow, it never affected me before. I didn't even think about it. But this year it did, when I got back from Nashville. And when I back and forth. And because the guys in Nashville, I was hanging out with. I was going to, restaurants with them. I was coming over to their house and having food and it was a total thing. But this past month or so, I realized, wait a minute, these guys that I see, that's how we're conditioned. I wasn't being fair. I was being an ass. Okay, I admit that. I'm being an ass. And I said, you know what? They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Because when I go to Planet Fitness, it's fun. I like it. I go to 4 or 5 different locations, depending on where I'm at. And I've been to most locations at least a dozen or more times each, no less than. And I go, you know what? Those people don't even talk to me hardly. Maybe somebody at the counter once in a blue moon, hey, how's it going? But the other people made me feel so good about myself the last several years. And after my son had gone and all the things and me going back and forth, hey, they come up, hey, how's Nashville? Yesterday when I went there to go sign up again. Because, every year we got to renew. And I thought, man, I'm a lucky person. But I was being such a girl about it. I was being not a girl, but I was being like, and I think one of the other takeaways you can take from me is that as much as I brought to the table or helped people or created things and made things work that are still working to this day that I won't get credit for. And if I said them, you would know, especially if you live in Detroit. It's just that thing. I realized that, you know what? Sometimes you just got to roll with it. You just got to roll with it and help other people. And not everybody's going to look back. But look at the Detroit Lions. Look at them. People, 1 million plus people. Think about it. What's that? I don't even know how many fans they have in Michigan. But the stadium itself, they used to hold 80,000 plus in Pontiac, which is about 20 miles further than where they're being played now at Ford Field right in downtown Detroit, right in the middle, smack dab. I think it holds like 53,000 people. And now they may not know who I am or care, but they care about one thing. And I don't care what color, what size, what shape. When you see people, it's that Honolulu blue, the big lion, restore the roar, all that stuff, right? One pride. They got so many logos, it's crazy. It's like you could do meme after meme. And every single year, and the last 3 have been the closest in my entire lifetime, more than a half century, that they got that close, even in Nashville, people from all over were wearing Honolulu blue. That weren't even, they some were from Nashville, some were from Texas, some were from here, there, everywhere. They had fans everywhere for the first time I've ever seen like that. And I lost my faith in the Detroit Lions a long time ago after Barry Sanders left. And I tried to get back on the board with Matthew Stafford, and I already told the story. But the other night, that game, they had to win 6 games, supposedly. That's what I was told, 6 games. You know, they had to win every single game. And this was the first of the 6. And, you know, it wasn't a good game. They were playing sloppy. I know the quarterback wasn't playing like a Super Bowl quarterback. You know, that we put a lot of, hey, we love Jeff Goff. Love Jeff. Yeah, Goff. And, okay. And then near like the last half of the quarter, he started getting his mojo. Right. And, but I was rooting for them secretly. I was rooting for them because I feel like a Detroit Lion, I know the feeling, right? I don't know why I compare myself to it, but it's a good analogy. And at the end, even when they're coming back, even when they're rallying, even when they score a touchdown with 2 seconds left in the game, the stadium's packed. I'm even going, yeah. I'm in a hotel room going, yeah. And people are going to go, you're a fair weather fickle fan. You know what? It's better than rooting for I wasn't rooting for the other team. Okay. But I was like, because I'm afraid to root for them because I think I'll jinx them. You know what I mean? But maybe I did. I don't know. But then they called this penalty that he called twice in this game I've never heard of. Dante used to explain everything to me. And, I felt stupid sometimes because, I know what pass interference is. And sometimes it's dicey because you don't know if it's, they called it right. Because that's one of those ones where the referees don't always get it right. But offensive pass interference, how does that happen? This city, these people, they put more faith into the Detroit Lions than anything I've ever said that makes sense. That's cool. I get it because they're famous. And they get paid millions of dollars and they got billions of dollars into the stadium, whatever. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we have the same freaking result. Now, there's a lot of people that do well in Michigan and Detroit and love it here. And, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of great things here in Detroit. My gym's great. The restaurants I go to are great. There's a lot of people here. Some of the people on here I've never even met that I think are some of the most cool people. I'm like, wow, that's really sweet. It's really nice. Because if it wasn't, I would just delete them or unfollow them. Why would I do that? And I don't think I've had to do that. I think my luck's been bad for a lot of reasons, but I still came on here. I still come on here. Why? When I could be in there watching TV with my dad. My dad's 81 years old. My mom's 80. They're in there watching, like 2 kids in there watching TV. And they're getting ready to go back to Florida for 4 months, or wherever. I don't know exactly how long. But I come on here because when a girl like Angie, who I didn't recognizes me, she didn't even know why she knew me. She didn't even know how, but she knew. She was like, she wrote this whole long text to me. I can't write this. Does it fill my ego? It's never been about ego. It's never been about pity. It's never even, I wish if anything, it should be about money. I need money. I mean, no, it was, when she told me, I knew the kid that she was talking about because he knew my son. I knew who he was, but I didn't know the girl, Selena. I still don't. And she goes, oh my God, she talks about Dante all the time. I swear to God, she was like going off and on and on and on about it. And the whole night we were working together, she wasn't even, she didn't real friendly to me. Hey, you need this, you need that, real nice, and then just going back to bartending and, being with her customers that knew her because it's a club. And, but it wasn't until that moment. And that reinforced me a little bit. Vinny, I know you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Merry Christmas to you too. And Michelle, she used to watch, she's a good case in point because when I was doing the Saturday night shows in that cold, dark basement in that house in about 20 miles from here, I was so depressed. I was sad, depressed, everything you could think of. It was like I was in the middle of the ocean with, lead attached to my feet and I was sinking. But when I came on and I started playing these old tunes and it was like, and then Michelle comes on, and a bunch of other people came on. Cousins would come on, people I haven't heard from in a long time, and they're guessing the songs. And they're talking amongst each other. Some were even friending. In fact, I know that people became friends and are still friends to this day because of that stupid show. I'm not kidding. To this day, to this day. In fact, someone was telling me today, yeah, I was talking to so-and-so today. And I'm going, they met because one of these shows. That's a good feeling. It's the holiday. A lot of people love the holiday. A lot of people are Amazon. Oh man, we don't get it on time. People are running. I mean, every place, the gas stations are even packed. They're buying all kinds of stuff, you know. And did it make my life better? Michelle, you could post that you got a flat tire and you'll get 500 people to love you and respond. Me, I could give away, this could be a bar of gold and these could be the Powerball answers. And but you know what? That's how my life is. Why am I dedicated to doing this once in a while? Because when you talk to people that not just have a disease, and Michelle, you know what that means. You know what that means because you had cancer. I have a lot of friends who have cancer, all kinds of cancer. Some have had stage 4 and are still surviving it. They ring the bell. Okay. See this right here? I've never had cancer, but because of my son, and I got this in Nashville. It's a cancer bracelet. And I've done a lot of charities, Come On Us and Susan B. Coleman, all of them. My buddy Joey Zago, his father died earlier this year from Alzheimer's. His mom just died a week ago. This has been on my wrist for 2 years. This purple band. I don't know if you can read it. It says Alzheimer's on it. They've never been off. I had a trust the process one that somebody gave me when my son died. It was on my wrist for about 3 years until it finally broke. I never replaced it. But it's that time of year. And they say it's the saddest time of year. There's people out there starving. There's people out there homeless. There's people out there that don't know how their insurance is going to be paid for. And I've seen it firsthand. I hear it directly. But I also have friends that have houses that are the size of a mall. They have 9 or 10 cars. They don't know how not to spend money. But they're good people. We live in a weird world, don't we? It's crazy. It's crazy. And we're happy. We can buy whatever we want. I'm poor, but I showed you before, I've got a wallet full of credit cards. I got a gold American Express. I got this, I got that. But, I can't go out and I can't do that. Credit's very important to me. It is, because that's how, I hope to live, helping people. They gave me $1 trillion cash right now. I was in a pool with a friend of mine at the hotel 2 nights ago while we were watching the Patriots. I was listening to Patriots game on my phone after the Lions had lost because that's my go-to team now, because I think it's Danny Incarnated, Mays, Andre, number 10, New England Patriots. But I looked at this person and I said, you know what? I know for a fact if they gave me all the money in the world, and I've made a lot of money many times. I've walked out of nightclubs around the country with no less than $20,000 in my hand, cash. And my guys are all with me, staying at nice hotels, and the food and the drinks are already paid for. It's great. And I always gave charity after, some charity. I don't care. Pick, street, I would buy them food. I didn't care. I carry money in my car, even on my worst day, the last 6 years. And Sophia loved it. She would pass out money. Hey, sir, and hand them money. She loved it. Dante loved doing it. Sabrina loved doing it. I haven't seen Sophia will be 16 on January 8th. I haven't seen her since her 13th birthday. Imagine that. Couldn't tell you why. But I have to live with that. And I still give to homeless people. I still tip people wherever I go. I tipped the guy at the restaurant today through the drive-thru. I tipped the person at the smoothie place where I got half off. Beyond Juice. Go there on Tuesday. I always have to pay people when I get paid. If and if there's people out there, I I want to make a difference. It's not that hard. As bad as my life has been, as bad as my luck has been, as bad as I've lost friends that I thought I would never lose. You have the ability out there. I know there's one person. I know never once since I've done this is not one person not changed something about what they've done. Even if they go out and buy alien tape or they find this gum and it keeps them from plowing into a semi truck or head on somewhere, right? Whatever you do, you always do something. It's like when you open the door for somebody and they don't drop their groceries. That's big. That's big. They're not going to teach you that in a place of worship. Maybe they will. I don't know. But, and if that works, you great. But don't give up. I'm not talking to people who have money. I'm not talking to people who have perfect lives. And look at my young guy, like, did you hear about? I'm sure all the from high school, oh, you hear about Chris Gonzalez? Oh my God, what a shit show. You know what I mean? Who'd want that life? Oh my God, his life's a wreck, But you know what? I look good in the shirt, And my dad goes, my dad looks at my shirt today and he goes, and my dad, he's the sharpest dressed guy I've ever met. He's never been in like sweatpants or anything. I don't know. He's just a great dresser. Even now, it's just a shirt. And he looked at my shirt. And I go, and that's big. That's huge for my dad because I'm never trying to impress my dad. And I've had this shirt for 10 years. 10 years. It still looks like new. This shirt I bought like 3 or 4 years ago. It's one of my flannels. I bought it at Costco. I don't even think I paid $10 for it. It's so soft. It's like a pillow. I don't know what it is, but I have friends that are. In fact, I had a bunch of friends that have canes and wheelchairs. Jim Webb, friend of mine, made me laugh. I used to make fun of him when he parked his car a couple of weeks ago and all summer long in front of the chiropractor because he couldn't park it. And think of him. I go, hey, you ain't allowed to park it there. And you know what? He just died last week. I don't even know if he had a funeral. I don't go to funerals. I don't like funerals. I've been to a couple. I've made exceptions. I hate funerals. Now, I hope if I have to say that because I don't want to go and I don't want to offend anybody. And I have nice suits, but I just don't want to go anymore. I just don't. I hate them. The Detroit Lions should have won. They should have won. And I'm saying that truthfully. But you know what? It is it's 25 plus hours to Christmas Eve 2025. And everyone's freaking out what they're going to get for Christmas or if they have enough time and money to go get that gift. Or they're excited because they bought them a car or something cool, some trip. Maybe they're going to get engaged tonight or tomorrow, whenever, We try to create these life-changing moments with holidays. Isn't that funny? The one thing about me, it wasn't that I didn't like holidays. I loved holidays, but I didn't want my kids to ever think that they had to wait 4 times a year for a holiday. Birthday, Christmas, 4th of July, whatever, Halloween. I said every day's a holiday. Every day's a holiday. I heard it was in a lyric of a song from a group. It was probably the first song I ever heard from this group years ago. It was the band called Styx. It's called Light Up. Light up, everybody, da-da-da-da. Every day's a holiday, when your eyes see mine or something like that. I forgot the lyrics now. But anyway, it was, that inspired me. And it just said, man, that makes sense. When I buy gifts for certain people, and it's not their birthday or Christmas, I said, why am I going to wait 3 months for your birthday? Enjoy it now. And then maybe by the time I'll see something else and I'll like it. But I know that I got some really cool things that are going to happen. I got people with promising me all kinds of things. I had a millionaire sitting in a parking lot the other day, right, Marco? And he was telling me, he called me a genius. And I was sitting in my car going, okay, I got to go, because it's cold out. And he goes, he wants, he's been watching what I've been doing. And I got like a good handful of people like that, right? I'm thinking, if I ever come into anything successful, because people promise me stuff, and Vinny, we talk about it, then they disappear or something doesn't happen or whatever. But you know what? If something ever did happen, or I won the Powerball, because actually I bought a couple tickets. Actually, a friend of mine bought a couple tickets for me. I told this person at pool, I said, you know what? I said, uh, Vinny, why are you texting me while I'm doing this? Um, Vinny, he'll interrupt you in the middle of a sentence. He can't help it. He's like that little kid, you know. Yeah, I called you out. Um, but it won't change me. It won't. And Dante called me a sucker for that. He said, Dad, why are you giving people money? Why are you helping people out? And it wasn't that he didn't want to help people. He just didn't want to help the people I knew. Not all of them. He liked a lot of people, but I knew also with a lot of people, you get the good mixed in with the bad. And the bad don't mean to be bad. They're just not good. And I said, you know what? But here's the thing. I've helped a lot of people that didn't have a chance in hell. And they did do things that, but I see them on Facebook. I see them on out there. And it didn't happen overnight. And it even didn't happen on my watch. But they go and they change their life and they've improved it. They didn't die like I thought. They didn't end up in jail. They didn't end up, with this horrible reputation. Something happened. Do I take credit for it? No, but I could. And but I know it wasn't just me. It's everybody. There's people that will touch your life. And if you feel uninspired by anybody out there, and you're not inspired by me, there's somebody in your life that will inspire you. My dad and I, we didn't talk for years. In fact, when I was a teenager, when I moved out, I mean, I wasn't mad at him. He wasn't mad at me. He was too busy becoming successful because he was so young when he had me. And he came from nothing. He came from nothing. He came from a very large family. He didn't come from nothing. And I didn't understand it back then. I didn't understand it. And then I went and did my thing. And he did his thing. And we'd see each other here and there, right? And, but when I went through my divorce, well, it was even before that. When my daughter was born, I saw him change. I saw my dad change. I saw him turning into this amazing grandfather, not just to her, but to all the grandkids, including Dante and Sophia. And then when Dante died, he's the one who invited me over here. And two things, and I don't care if there's only one person watching this, because I never really thought about it before. But it took this long. And I love the guy. And we talk it's like I love doing things with him and for him, But what also hit me at the same time is that I'll never have that with my son. I'll never have that. And me and Dante were 10 times closer. And now that's gone. I don't need to be out here making a fool of myself, but when you're helping somebody you don't even know, I don't know how that affects some people, maybe it doesn't, but it's what keeps me going. And if you're out there and you think that your life sucks, or you think you're confused, or somebody just betrayed you, fired you from a job, and I know people that's happened to that didn't deserve it. They're good people and they're very qualified. Somebody betrayed you that would never ever do that to you. And it happens to the best of us. I don't care how much money you have. You will get through it. I'll say one last thing and then I'm going to go. And I'll make it almost an hour. And if you make it to this part, my daughter wanted to take me to the movies. And with her boyfriend who was in town, they were, and she calls me up and she wanted to see this. She goes, I said, well, you pick. I don't want to pick. And then the first one she mentioned, it was me Avatar or something. And she goes, Hamlet or Hamnet or something. And I'm like, huh, what? Well, I didn't know the backstory of Shakespeare. I didn't know any of that. I really didn't. I don't know how it eluded me. Um, and it was a true story about him. It's about William Shakespeare, right? To be or not to be, all that. And he had I guess he had twins, a daughter and a son. And he loved his son and everything. And I guess he loses his son. And the son dies at a very young age. Like, was it 8, 9, 10, 11? I don't know. Young. And that's what it's based on. And he wrote the play. I think his son's name was Hamnet with an N. And of course, everyone's heard of the play, whether you've seen it or not, Hamlet, right? Well, that's what he wrote the story about. I didn't know that. And they say it's like the biggest tearjerker. Steven Spielberg's behind it. It's not like this, low budget movie. And she goes, we better not watch that. And we end up seeing something else. The point is, man, I got to get through the murk. I got to get through the quicksand. I got to get through all that. And it may take me the rest of my life, but I'm still going to do the best I can to help people. And it may be work in vain. I may end up losing more friends, more people. So be it. I mean, I definitely want to go back to Nashville because none of the people that I became close friends with there, and there's a good handful, they're all always asking me, hey, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? I know I did a lot of damage probably here in Michigan, whatever. But I still have some good people here. But I lost a lot. I just never want to make $1 million. My biggest fear of making money isn't what I'm going to become or what I'm going to do with it. I don't ever want some of those people back. I just, because Dante would be mad, and I want to help good people, even if I don't know them. I don't know you as well as I could or should maybe. But when Angie came up to me and people coming up to me at the gym, that's a great feeling. And that's the part I wish on you. And if you're secretly dealing with something and you're masking it with pain pills or antidepressants or drugs or drinking or whatever, I get it. I had a couple of drinks the other night, and because I lost so much weight, it hit me. And then somebody said something, a relative said something about me in the Lions, and I went off. Like my meaner cousin, he called me up and goes, want me to carry it? No. It's like when Jesus, you want me to, God, you want me to take on the, no, I know. It was like one of those moments. I said, no. And I had to back down to it. But it's like, why does that happen? Because it just does. The holidays here. It's been super cold, a little warm today here in Michigan. It's supposed to get cold next week. But have fun with it. Just stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Those are the two things you can't really control. Well, healthy, you can at least try to make that work. But staying safe, you don't know. My dad slipped on ice the other day. Hurt his elbow, hurt his, back. I think it's better. He's walking around now. But, 80, what are you going to do, right? So be careful. Out there on the roads, don't drink and drive. If you drink, get somebody to Uber you home or whatever. It's worth it. It's worth it. Borrow the money if you don't have it. And don't worry gifts as much. Maybe it's a big thing to you or them or whatever. But you're the gift. Give them the gift you got and the things you can say better than me. I know that. And I know 100 people are going to see this before I take it down. So, you make whatever, because that's the only thing I keep thinking. I'm going, why am I they're doing that? And I didn't follow. It's not, that's important to me. It's important trying to rescue somebody. When I was with the fire department, they say I was one of the highest decorated. I only got 4 decorations, 4. But that's 4 more than many of them. And it wasn't a competition for me. It wasn't an ego thing. That lady, she was, I hope she's still alive. But all I know is that, when you help somebody, you don't necessarily have to pull them out of a burning building or out of a frozen lake. You can pull them out of that pain. And here's the best part. And that's the only thing I can say that people do understand. I didn't have to. I was dealing with my own crap. 6.5 years later, I'm still dealing with it. Adding in my daughter, Sophia. I sold headphones today that were worth $400 to some girl named Savannah. And I held on to those headphones for 3 years to give to Sophia for Christmas and her birthday or whatever. Because I bought her that, remember that pair that she used to have when we'd sing Lovely Day? And she loved those things. She went everywhere with them, everywhere for like 2-3 years. That's why I bought her another pair. And I ended up, you know what I felt like selling them in a parking lot tonight? I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody else. Like cancer doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know what it feels like. But I see people dying and suffering for it, getting treatment for it, spending a lot of money with or without insurance. People saying fuck cancer all the time, like it's supposed to mean something. I just know I lost friends over it. So that's how I equate my pain to yours. And I don't wish that on anybody. So, but that's it. Christine, I forgot a lot of times to say times 10 at the end, but it wasn't one of these things. I didn't put Dante's face in the corner at this time. And, I hate people. I hate seeing friends and people. I don't know why. It hurts me. I mean, I'm not afraid of anything. The only thing I had fear of years ago was anything happening to my kids, even my ex-wife. Go figure, I mean, I would have walked through walls for her and them. Now it's just me. So I'm giving that to you. Just like I sold the headphones to a completely young girl today. She was so excited. She put them on. She heard it. She works for Ford's downtown. It's probably my daughter's age. And, it was kind of sad, like, wow, I held on to these things to give to my kid. And now some stranger has them. And I sold them for a third of the price. Anyway, all right. Well, go watch your Netflix. Go watch your shows. Get some rest. Stay warm. And just be nice to people. Be nice. Be nice. And be nice to yourself. All right? Got me? Good? All right. I did my part, right? Did I do my part? Did I? Why? Can my life stop being a shit show now? All right. Thanks. All these. Max. These are cool. These are great. Hey, Leslie. Hey, brother. You see what he say? Yeah, it was cool. All right. We're good. All right, guys. Feliz Navidad. Prosperos años, as they say. And then where's my song at? Hold on a second. Oh, wait. Da-da-da-da. I gotta finish playing this. Here, Caldwell.
A star shone down on Bethlehem in a manger where he lay, and bells rang softly in the town to herald that special day. Let love remain throughout the each day.